Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back to this career on Motorsport Manager with the Williams team. We have been doing pretty well this season, but anyway, we're back for round 17, the Phoenix Grand Prix. It is the Oval Grand Prix today. It should be a track where we are going to be pretty quick. Obviously, the engine, the rear wing are crucial for this track. The gearbox is not one of our best parts at the moment, but the rear wing that we've got in the car is the 4th best overall. Red Bull have actually moved in front of us in engine, in power terms. We're still ahead of Mercedes, but Red Bull, we did have the best engine in the last time we were in Phoenix. Obviously Ferrari then went above us. Red Bull have obviously upgraded their engine as well before the end of the season. I do have a new engine building. Whether that is going to be built before the end of the season, it is slightly better than the engine that we've got at the moment. We don't need to increase its performance in the garage, whereas we're just hoping that we've got enough time to sort of build this. We've got a gearbox, 2 brakes parts and a suspension that we're working on. That should put us in a pretty good position for next season. As we see, the overall performance of this car is average at the moment in this 6th place. As you can see, we're a lot better than average in pretty much every area, and the suspension now, the rear wing and the engine obviously a lot better than average. So I'm hoping that next season we're going to be pretty close to the Red Bull. Obviously I'm hoping that the car is better than the McLaren and the Renault. They have been underperforming this season. Obviously we know we've got more performance than them this season, whether that's to do with the engine being a little bit more overpowered than theirs, but they just usually underperform anyway. But I'm hoping that next season we're going to be challenging a little bit further forward. As it is, we've been having a lot of podiums this season. We've had 5 podiums from Ocon. Sorokin managed to finish 3rd in the last race, his first podium of the season. We just head on over to the drivers tab. We will see here that it never fills in the season form for some reason. You never get this average even out, but Ocon's had 5 podiums, Sorokin's had 1 podium. Over the season, Esteban Ocon has outqualified his teammate 12 times to Sorokin outqualifying his teammate 4 times, and Esteban Ocon's outraced his teammate 14 times, while Sorokin's only outraced Ocon twice over the season. If we just head here, he's got that 1 podium over the 2 seasons. That last race, Sergei Sorokin looking to keep hold of this seat. In the downtime between the last episode, we had this R&R dilemma. We paid a bit of money. It refocused Sergei Sorokin. It has given him the refocused boost, which gives him a +1 to all of his stats, so he becomes a 3.5 star driver for the last race of the season here in Phoenix Grand Prix, at the Phoenix Grand Prix. So hopefully that is going to go some way to improving our performance overall. Obviously he had a really good race in the last Grand Prix, so we're going to jump in. We're always going to go for this PNC because no one else offers any decent bonus money. Hopefully, as we know, as we've been over before, Sorokin is always just content with his car. He's only 6% happy, whereas Esteban Ocon's always 12% happy, even though the cars are overall exactly the same. But for some reason, Sergei Sorokin's always just content with his car, and I don't know why. But anyway, we're going to jump in to the last race of the season, this oval track, see how we can do in this race. We'll skip over practices as we usually do, and we'll come back and see how quick we are in qualifying. So here we go with the first qualifying lap. Sorokin about to do his first hot lap. We were the best of the rest in practice. We could get nowhere near the Mercedes, Ferrari or the Red Bull, although we were 7th and 8th overall in practice. Stroll running his last practice session, taking the last of his dad's money. He will be out of the team next season. Sorokin will possibly be staying on as a reserve driver, maybe doing some practice sessions himself, but as the practice sessions are shorter, we might need the feedback knowledge of whoever we bring in to be the second driver, or the equal status driver that we bring in alongside Esteban Ocon. Although here we are, 5th and 6th. We're currently only slower than the top cars at the moment. It looks like that's where we're going to be staying after the first round of qualifying here. We're 7th and 8th, just as I thought we would be, only slower than the Mercedes, Ferraris and Red Bulls by quite a margin, almost half a second than the slowest Ferrari. So I don't know whether we're going to be able to close that gap towards the end of qualifying when we come back out to do our second lap. But we'll just have to hang on and see and hope that we can keep hold of this 7th and 8th place and make a strategy work during the race to pick up some places. So here we go with the second qualifying lap. After all, these cars a bit below us came out for their second lap early. We managed to hold on to 7th and 8th. We could be under pressure from the McLarens here. Obviously, Stoffel Van Dorn is in really good form. We could see ourselves lose out to the McLarens if we don't go any quicker, although it looks like Sirotkin's going quicker here on his second lap. Ocon picking up the pace as well. Sirotkin goes a little bit quicker. Is he going to be able to hold on to that 8th place? We see the McLaren go quicker, Raikkonen's quicker. It looks like Van Dorn's going to go quicker than Sirotkin as well. Ocon goes a little bit quicker. He manages to keep himself ahead of the 2 McLarens, so Ocon finishes 7th. Sirotkin 10th. Not too bad of a qualifying session there, although disappointing that Sirotkin dropped down to 10th, although we know Van Dorn and Raikkonen are better drivers, although Raikkonen's possibly not a better driver now because his stats have been dropping as the season's been going on. So here we go with the 2019 grid for the Oval Grand Prix here in Phoenix, USA. Danny Rick on pole position, another amazing performance from him. Looks like he could be challenging for another win. Everyone seems to be starting on the mediums apart from Max Verstappen, but Lewis Hamilton is second. Sebastian Vettel, unfortunately for him, he has a dodgy neck. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to beat Lewis Hamilton to the Drivers' Championship here unless Lewis Hamilton has an absolute nightmare. Max Verstappen is in 4th in the Red Bull. Kevin Magnussen's 5th in the Mercedes. 6th, Valtteri Bottas off form in the Ferrari. Esteban Ocon 7th. We're starting on the medium tyre. Stoffel Van Dorn 8th. Kimi Raikkonen 9th, starting on a soft tyre. Sergei Sirotkin starting on the medium tyre as well from 10th place. We're going medium. This track should really be a 3-stop race. It is a 57-lap race, but I'm hoping with Esteban Ocon we can go medium, hard, and we might just be able to stretch it out. It's going to be too much of a challenge for Sirotkin to do that as he goes through his tyres a little bit quicker than Esteban Ocon, but hopefully with Ocon we can stretch out a 2-stop strategy here. Obviously the laps aren't that long, so a 3... yeah, I'm guessing a 2 is going to be the best option for Ocon, whereas Sirotkin's possibly going to do a 3-stop strategy. So we're going to be pushing him a little bit more in the race, whereas we're going to be looking after the tyres a little bit more for Esteban Ocon. And obviously I can't start the race on the hard tyre because I've got both my cars in the top 10. And if I'm inside the top 10, I've got to use one of the 2 softer compounds to start the race on. Then outside the top 10 we've got Roman Grosjean in 11th, starting on the soft tyre, a used pair of soft tyres for some reason. Hopefully that is going to be cured next season with the shorter practice sessions. The AI seems to do that quite a bit, as we see Carlos Sainz on a used hard tyre as well for some reason. Who knows why, but Nico Hülkenberg a little bit further down the order this time, 12th place for him. His teammate just behind him, Felix Rosenqvist, 13th. We see Sainz on that hard used tyre that we saw, 14th. Charles Leclerc, he's still got this dodgy neck, 15th place. Sergio Perez 16th in the Force India. Pierre Gasly 17th. Nikita Mazepin 18th in the Force India. Billy Johnson in the Toro Rosso 19th, and bringing up the rear as usual Marcus Ericsson in the Alfa Romeo Sauber. But hopefully we can get a decent start here. If we can make this 2-stop strategy work for us, whether the AI is going to try and attempt to do that as well. But we get a pretty decent start. We seem to be into a pretty decent second phase, but we get held up behind Magnussen. And as we saw last time in this Grand Prix, not the full oval, but Ocon runs wide. Thankfully, not as wide as he went last time. He doesn't fall all the way to the back. He has the pace on this track over the Force India and the Renault. But Ocon, way off form at the moment. He's going to be outside where we wanted him to be from the start of this Grand Prix. But look at that, he's got the power here around Phoenix. Our car looks really strong. He's already back up into 9th place. He's got Sergei Sirotkin in front of him. These guys running the same strategy in the early going. We do want Ocon to get past Sirotkin though, because Ocon does have the slightly better engine, although these cars are pretty evenly matched. Ocon though does have the racer stat during the races, so all his stats get a +2 bonus. So we're already right back to where we were behind Kevin Magnussen after just a couple of laps. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the tyres turned down because we want to just run as far as we can. I think we're still going to get the run on Kevin Magnussen here, although is he still pushing here? No, he's gone in a conserve mode, which we might need to do at some point. Our tyres are possibly going to get a little bit cold, but that is the price we're going to have to pay to try and run this 2-stop strategy if we want to get quite far into this Grand Prix. So 4th lap here. Kimi Raikkonen had a pretty good start as well. Are we closing the gap to him? We're doing a 44.1 to he's done a 43.9. We're seemingly doing about the same lap times at the moment, although it seems like we're slowly catching Kimi Raikkonen up. Should we use a little bit of overtake mode here, try and get track position over Kimi Raikkonen? Obviously, no, there's a lot of laps in this Grand Prix. You can recover the fuel, so should we use the fuel in the early going so our car is under fueled, therefore we're gaining a little bit of time per lap as well if we get our car under fueled. If we just run in overtake mode and go about 2 laps down, obviously, and we know if we're 2 laps down we can easily recover that. It would only take 20 or so laps to recover that fuel, so we're right on the back of Valtteri Bottas in the Ferrari here. Are we going to be able to get past him? Obviously our car really strong around this oval track, as we saw. We were really strong around the half oval. We've got some cars into the pits already after lap 9. Are we going to have to conserve this? We did want this to get to about 14 laps. If we can make it go any further than that, it would be an added bonus. Obviously we're still pushing the fuel. Should we run conserve mode? How far are we behind Sebastian Vettel? Are we any quicker than him? About half a second quicker. Are we quicker? What are we quicker? A second quicker than Vettel at the moment. So we're slowly but surely catching him, as we see Verstappen make a early pit stop in the early going here. I'm guessing the AI is going to go for a 2-stop with the cars in front, but Ocon already up into 4th place here. We're almost 2 laps of fuel down. Should we even go for 3 laps of fuel down? If we just keep pushing, what's the engine like? 86%. We're not seeing any sort of detriment to the car. We're right on the back of Sebastian Vettel here. I'm guessing they're just running in neutral, so we're just going to burn our fuel until we're 3 laps of fuel down. The tyres are not going to overheat. The mediums I think can get down to 10%, so I'm guessing we're easily going to run to where we wanted to in the Grand Prix. So Rotkin, meanwhile, we're going to think about getting him into the pit, so we're going to attack. And maybe just this lap we're going to switch to a hard tyre, and then maybe back to a medium soft. I think we're going to have to 3-stop this race with him unless he can get this hard tyre a long way into the Grand Prix. So we're going to get him off this tyre this lap. He's already back. He's on the back of Valtteri Bottas already. He's going to make the pass before he comes into the pits as well. So we're going to look after this hard tyre this time around. We're going to keep the car in overtake mode. I don't think we're losing too much on the tyres at the moment. I think we've got about another lap in this, but we see Vettel pitting, so we might as well follow him. 45 laps left. Are we going to be able to stretch this hard tyre out? Obviously we have the performance increase on the hard tyre of 15%, and we have the race bonus as well, so hopefully a good quick pit stop from Sirotkin. Are we going to be able to get past Vettel heading into the pits here? I think we could go another lap, but we're not going to risk it. We know we have quicker pit stops than the Ferrari, so we should be able to get back out of the pits in front of him. And we can do one more lap in overtake mode, so we're out of the pits. We're going to get out in front of Sebastian Vettel, we do, and we're just behind Daniel Ricciardo here. So we're sort of almost challenging him. That's Max Verstappen going back through there. He's already on a hard tyre, so we're going to keep pushing for just one more lap here. Ricciardo's looking after these hard tyres. Vettel's on a used pair of hard tyres. He's pushing his fuel as well. So Rotkin's a little bit further down the road. He's just made a pass on Rosenquist, who hasn't come into the pitch yet. He's still pushing. I'm thinking we're going to take this 35 laps it would take. Once we see this fuel match this almost, that's when we're going to start turning down the fuel, because we should be a little bit quicker than the other cars since we're so low on fuel at the moment. And I think about now 3.5 laps down on the fuel, we should be able to just about recover that. So Rotkin, we're going to keep pushing with him in overtake mode at the moment. He's doing pretty well for himself as well. You've got Danny Rick in front, who's fallen back here a little bit. He's slowing down. I'm guessing he's desperately trying to go for this 2-stop strategy. We're not going to go low mode on our tyres. It looks like Vettel might not be able to make the 2-stop work since he came out on a used pair of hard tyres. Verstappen came in early for the hard tyres as well, so he might have to do a 3-stop, and Hamilton's going through his tyres pretty quickly as well. So there is places to pick up here, and we have managed to get Ocon in front of Daniel Ricciardo. So there is a chance we could be on for a win here if we can keep pace with Hamilton, although Hamilton is super quick around this track. And we're going to get into recovery mode now with Sergei Sirotkin, who finds himself only 2 places behind his teammate, and who's that? That's Billy Johnson in 20th that we're lapping. We're nowhere really near Daniel Ricciardo. He's possibly going to come back at us now because we can't really do anything with our fuel now. We've used all our fuel to get back into this position with Ocon after he ran wide on that first corner. We've pushed the car all out to get to this point, so it's just a battle of whether we can actually hang with Daniel Ricciardo here if we can start or stay anywhere near him. But as we see, once he starts pushing his fuel, he's going to start getting out in front of us. But if we can get onto the podium, it's going to be an amazing finish. I don't think we've quite got the pace this season to win this race, but you never know. We're almost at the halfway mark here. What have we done on this tyre so far? 7 laps, we're down 34%. Which means we're using about 5% per lap. Which means we should be able to do another 12 laps. So it looks like we're a little bit stretched here. So we're going to have to go conserve mode if we want, and the tyres are going to get a little bit too cold. If we want to stretch this out to a 2-stop race, that is what we're going to have to do with Ocon. Obviously, I don't think there's any chance at all that we can do this with Sergei Sorokin. He's already done 10 laps on this tyre. He's got himself down to 47%. It's going to be pretty touch and go if he can get another 10 out of that lap. 34. He could possibly do a 2-stop strategy, but should we risk it a little bit more with Sergei Sorokin? He's got Magnussen pretty close. He's going to be doing a 2-stopper as well. So should we get pushing on this tyre with Sorokin, and we'll switch him to a 3-stop strategy just to see if that's going to work for us here. Obviously, we've got a lot of room to push in attack mode since the tyres are so cold. So if we just do that with Sorokin, see, oh, we've got a safety car leaving the garage. Should we get Sorokin in this time, and it sort of saves him a pit stop? Should we switch things about? So we're going to get in for another hard tyre here. It's going to allow us to recover some fuel as well, which is what we needed with both of these cars. Should we get Ocon into the pits? Sort of a free pit stop here. We're far enough ahead, I think. Are we far enough ahead to get him in and out of the pits? Obviously, we've got cars pitting in front, so we're going to take it. We're going to take the free pit stop here. If we do this, 19 laps, and then when we do the next pit stop, we might be able to get onto a soft tyre as well. So we'll go hard, and then it means we can push the hard tyre. Obviously, this hard tyre, there's no chance of getting that to the end of the race. So we're going to have to do another pit stop off this hard tyre. Or should we stay out? No, because the field's just going to bunch together. We might as well try and take this free pit stop. We know we've got the pace pushing this car to go ahead and do this. We've got these on the medium tyre, so they're going the opposite to us. Hopefully we're going to be able to push the car here, and I don't know, but the race is on here to the end of this Grand Prix. We don't have any room to push on the fuel. It's Vettel who has crashed, so Hamilton has won the Drivers' Championship here. So we're about half a lap away from the race restarting. Obviously everyone's out of position here because we've got the back markers spreading the field here. Ocon's a long way back from Daniel Ricciardo, who's that we've got in front. We've got Rosenquist, Sainz and Leclerc in front that we have to pass before we're anywhere near Daniel Ricciardo. 1.6 with the fuel, so we're going to start getting going here. We're going to go into attack. Can I even do this quick enough? There we go. And we start flying through. Oh, we just fly through those cars like they were ghosts. We're up into 4th. Sorokin is 6th behind Kevin Magnussen. Although what is happening with Sorokin is actually slower than a couple of these cars. That's Bottas getting past him as well. So the safety car hasn't worked out for Sergei here. Ocon as well has been caught by Kevin Magnussen as well. So the safety car not really working out for us here as it's grouped the cars up that we managed to get quite a way in front of before, and we're lapping a little bit slower, although it should start to come back to us towards the end of the race, this Grand Prix, because they're going to get off this medium pretty early, and whether they go for a hard tyre or another medium tyre, we will be on a quicker tyre maybe towards the end of the Grand Prix. We're just going to have to wait and see how it goes, but we're just going to keep attacking on this tyre. We know the track's pretty cool. This hard tyre doesn't heat up too quickly here. Are we starting to catch back up now? 41.4, so we're actually quicker than the Red Bulls in front of us. So we're still on for a podium here. Van Dorn on this soft tyre, absolutely flying at the moment in the 41s, although he's not actually that much quicker than us. And he does have to pit pretty early. So Sorokin is currently 7th himself. We just have to watch these tyres. We just have to watch the fuel, make sure we recover before the end of the race. We're starting to lap cars at the moment, and we're still quicker, 2/10 quicker. Although Ricciardo's speeding back up, he's in the high 40s at the moment, quicker than Ocon. We know they're coming off this tyre anytime soon. We should be able to get onto a medium tyre. Should we just hold back for a little bit and make sure we can go a little bit further and get onto the soft tyre? Should we just hold off? What are our lap times like if we just hold off? We'll do 2 laps and see where we're at. compared to the Red Bulls in front of us. So there we go, twice round. So we're doing 42.1, so we're losing about a second if we do that. But obviously we want to get far enough into this Grand Prix that we can get another medium. If we can go medium, then we should be able to catch back up to them. Obviously we should gain time in the pits. If we can get that going. Sergei Sorokin drops to 7th place. He's still battling away with Valtteri Bottas here. What tyres have we used during the race? We've done a hard. We've done a... So we've used 2 tyre compounds. And we've used 2 tyre compounds. So we're free to choose whatever compound we want over the final stint of the race. And so we could go for another hard tyre if we wanted that we could push. But we're just going to hold on and see what the cars in front of us go for. There we see. We've got Hamilton and Ricciardo in the pits. What tyre are they going for? They're coming out onto a used pair of hard tyres and a medium for Hamilton. That is going to be a stretch to get to the end of the Grand Prix. So we're going to get attacking now. And we'll go high mode on the fuel because we've still got time to recover that. We'll do the same with Sorokin as well. So we're just going to get pushing here for a little bit and see where we can get out of the pits. I think we can do another 2 laps on this hard tyre before we even need to think about pitting it. We were at 8.19. It's going to be 15 this time, around 14. Should we get Sorokin in this lap? There's 15 laps remaining. He's a little bit touch and go for this medium tyre, so we might as well go hard for him and keep him pushing on another set of a hard tyre. Ocon is currently leading the race. Where can we get him back out of the pits? Obviously, he can go medium from this point. He's going to have to look after them, but they should still be quicker than the hard tyres pushing. Hopefully they are. And Sergei Sorokin drops to 8th place. It's a low fuel delta, which we know. We're going to get him recovering now. And he's going to stay attacking on these tyres. So Ocon is going to get out of the pits into 4th place. He's ahead of Verstappen. And we've fallen behind Ricciardo quite a bit as he's possibly sped up in the 40s. But can we come back at Daniel Ricciardo now? We can't go too much with this fuel and we can't push too much with the tyres, but hopefully we're going to see some improvement here on our lap times. Maybe keep up with Ricciardo. This hard tyre, he's not going to be pushing on that for too long. But we see our first lap out of the pits. We do a 39. We're a second quicker, although we're too far behind really to sort of challenge him. And we don't want this tyre getting too hot because it's pretty much a stretch at the moment to get it to the end of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, we can just keep pushing all out with Sorokin here. He's still lapping cars here that are going really slow. That's how much quicker we are than the Force Indias and the Toro Rosso. Considering where we started last season, we were on a par with them. We've made massive leaps forward, but Ocon is currently on place for a podium here behind Daniel Ricciardo. Lewis Hamilton leading the Grand Prix. He's going to celebrate his Drivers' Championship with a win here. So Lewis and Mercedes do the double here. They win the Drivers and the Constructors. Are we still lapping quicker here, even though we're just holding off a little bit? We're about even lap times at the moment. Maybe it would have been better going for that hard tyre because we would have been able to push it a little bit more. Although I don't think we'd have been in the 39s. Although maybe that's down to do with the track grip. But we'll get pushing a little bit again. See if we can sort of close the gap once again to Daniel Ricciardo. If we can sort of catch him up, conserve a little bit and then push again. We've still got an option, although we're going to have to go back into recovery mode on the fuel. I don't think we're going to be able to keep pushing here. And we're just going to have to cool these tyres down for Sorokin as well. He's a long way behind the car in front. He's possibly going to let Bottas back through. We can't really do anything to hold that Ferrari up. But obviously, look how far we are in front of the car behind. 47 seconds down to the cars behind. Although Van Dorn pits and he's out of the pits there doing his 3rd pit stop. He's quite a way behind, so it looks like we've got that. Ocon, Ricciardo has come into the pits to change that hard tyre. Even though that surely could have got to the end of the Grand Prix. He's come in and swapped a used pair of hard tyres for a used pair of mediums. Why? Why? I'm just confused. But yeah, so we've cooled back down with these. We can run these in neutral now. There's no real chance of Sorokin catching Bottas. We just want to keep him ahead of Van Dorn here. So what is Hamilton going to do? There's quite a few laps here. He's got problems with his car. And his tyres are running out. Hamilton comes into the pits for a 4th pit stop. Is Ocon going to be able to get around here? Ocon is going to go into the lead in this Grand Prix. Hamilton is back out of the pits, but he's 6 seconds down and he's on a used pair of mediums. So are we going to be able to keep this going? There's no point us pitting. We're going to go conserve mode here just to make sure these can last till the end of the Grand Prix. Can we hold off Lewis Hamilton and get our first win here? So Watkins recovered the fuel. We need to recover the fuel as well with Ocon. Should we get it done now though? Hamilton's coming back. I don't think we're going to be able to hang on to this lead. 4.2 seconds. It's dropping rapidly and we need to somehow recover the fuel as well. Hamilton 3 seconds. He's absolutely flying here, is Lewis Hamilton. He's going all out, although his fuel's there. We need to run in low mode for one lap. We can't really take the tyre outside of conserve mode either, although we're going to have to risk it. 10% this can go to, 2 laps left. Yeah, it's using way too much in conserve mode. We just want to stay strong enough that we can hold Daniel Ricciardo off as well. We're never ever going to be able to keep Lewis Hamilton behind us for 2 laps. There we go. That Mercedes goes flying past. The wind taken out of our fingers. So close here. But Lewis and Mercedes obviously knew what they were doing. We just need to hold on here. We've got 1 lap remaining. The tyres going for Sorokin. He can possibly go attack mode here for these last 2 laps. He's got room to push with the fuel as well. He's got Kevin Magnussen behind him on a pair of soft tyres going a lot quicker than him as well. But Ocon, these tyres are about to go. We do need to recover this fuel. We're possibly going to run out of fuel. Is Danny Rick far enough behind that we can keep this going? His tyres are going as well. Can we hold on for a 2nd place here in Phoenix? No, we're losing the tyres right at the line. It looks like we're going to hold on for the podium though. 3rd place. Just managed to get around there. Obviously Bottas was too far down. We should have just maybe held off rather than try to fight Hamilton off, as it was a battle we were never going to win. Maybe we should have held off and maybe kept that 2nd place, but I think the tyres would have run down anyway. These medium tyres would have gone. But Sorokin does well as well. He gets himself up to 6th place. A great race from him as well. So a really good finish to the season there. Lewis Hamilton wins the race, celebrates his Drivers' Championship with a win, unless he's getting demoted here. No, he doesn't. Everyone seems to have been running normal parts there, or at least didn't get caught running risky parts. Another podium from Esteban Ocon, his 6th of the season. Amazing from him. He holds on, more importantly, to that 3rd place by 1 point from Daniel Ricciardo. So we had one of our cars beat both of the Red Bulls. So Esteban Ocon looking really strong for this season, and hopefully he's going to be over the 200 point mark next season. Hopefully he's going to be challenging for some wins as well. Sergei Sorokin's done really well for himself. Obviously he's possibly going to be going into the reserve driver slot, although it seems a little bit unfair, so I might want to release him and see if he ends up in a different team. He should really carry on racing because he's actually done pretty well this season. We finished the season on 259 points, a long way ahead of the rest of the pack below us, and we just need to maybe, hopefully, we're going to close that 70-point gap to the Red Bull team. I don't think next season we're going to be anywhere near the Mercedes and Ferrari, but you never know. We might get the upgrades going next season, and then once we reach that first race of the season where we can introduce the upgrades, we might be really strong, and then especially once we can introduce a new engine upgrades round 6 in Vancouver, we could be even quicker and challenging for more wins. You just never know what we're going to be capable of next season. We finished 3rd overall. We've got the last little bit of Lance Stroll's dad's money coming into the team, a little bit of money from PNC as well for finishing 3rd during the race. And Lewis Hamilton, there we see, he wins a race. He wins the title quite comfortably in the end. Mercedes still a long way in front of Ferrari. And we'll just skip here. So what happened in the last race in F2, which is a double points race. So Nick De Vries won the race, Santino Ferrucci 2nd, Maximilian Gumper 3rd. So was that good enough to get Prema the Constructors' Championship win? It wasn't. Prema actually far behind. ART are coming up next season. They have George Russell and Jack Aitken currently in the car. Whether they're going to continue on in that car, they just beat out Arden and Dams, who refused promotion last season, finished 5th. I'm guessing they're going to be kicking themselves because they could have had quite a bit of money coming into the team if they'd have accepted promotion last season. David Beckman wins the last GP3 race, who is coming up here. We've got the Junior Trident team moving up, whether they accept the promotion or not. The Campos Junior team beat the Campos Racing team, who were relegated from Formula 2 last season, the junior team, beating out the actual Campos Racing team there in GP3. But Trident Junior could be moving up. The Trident senior team finished 7th overall in Formula 2. So there we go. Lewis Hamilton confirmed world champion. And we'll see Mercedes confirmed Constructors' Championship. 73 million they get for winning that. So hopefully we're like somewhere about 60 million. That would be absolutely amazing. I think we got just a little bit less than 50 million last season. I'm guessing all the money goes to the top team. We'll just have to see how that goes next season. So here we go. Just get the last few emails of the season out of the way. Simple question. We'll do this one since Sergey's going. He's not really bothered about us upsetting him. Pit crew review. Lance Stroll is listening to offers. Obviously, we're going to be releasing him. Hamilton wins the Phoenix Grand Prix, and we got contracts running down, which is just Lance Stroll. We could go ahead and fire him, but I think I'll just let his contract run out. Although if I fire him, he might have a better chance of finding a team. I do want him to find a team. So we'll do that. We'll get temporary staff into that reserve driver slot. So Lance Stroll is now gone. So hopefully he's going to find a new team, whether it's going to be in Formula 1 or not. Hopefully he finds another, like maybe Formula 2, so we can see and keep track of him next season. So if we just look, we've been through that. The GT series, IndyCar, the Penske team won the IndyCar series. Indy Lights was won by Juncos Racing, who actually won the IndyCar. Joseph Newgarden won the title, 1 point ahead of Scott Dixon right at the end of the season, and Will Power a little bit further back, and James Hinchcliffe a little bit further back, and Esteban Gutierrez in the second Penske car, the title winning team. Endurance team was won by AF Course, and it looks like, yeah, right at the end of the season, the last race of the season, the Toyota Racing team that Fernando Alonso went to got beaten right at the end of the season, with Kobayashi and Sebastian Buemi just beaten out right there at the end of the season, and the other Toyota Racing team, which sees Anthony Davidson racing pretty close right there at the end of the season. Toyota win overall though, of course, the AF course. But yeah, Fernando Alonso, his dream of winning this endurance championship didn't work out for him. He's still not interested in driving for us, but his stats are dropping at the moment. Although I think he's just down because his affair's being exposed. That possibly him having an affair exposed cost his team the title right at the end of the season. But anyway, that is it for this season. It's been an absolutely amazing season, getting Ocon up to 3rd, Sorokin up to 8th. We're going to be back tomorrow. It's possibly just going to be an episode going over the design of the new car. It's possibly not going to be a race tomorrow, but it's just going to be an episode going over the new car, going over fully the driver market, and hopefully we see some changes next season. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow for that. So until then, I'll see you for the start of a brand new season in the next episode. So leave a like if you've enjoyed this season, leave a comment with your thoughts on this season, subscribe to the channel if you're desperate to see next season, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But until next time, I'll see you next season for a brand new improved Williams car, hopefully the FW43. Hopefully it's going to be much improved, but until then, I will see you down the road, and goodbye.